I started off flying with a mouse and keyboard, and that can be really challenging, especially in a simulator like DCS World. Hey guys, Emils here, and today I'll be sharing my experience with my first flight stick, the Thrustmaster T16000M. I used it for over 1.5 years before I got a throttle, and just recently I got a new stick for my setup to replace the T16000M for mostly just one reason, but I will talk about that a little bit later. So, I started playing DCS way back in 2021, and after about 5 months of playing DCS World, it was time to get serious. So I was looking for a cheap but good flight stick to start out with, and the T16000M caught my eye. I got it for about €60 new, and I do not regret that purchase. It has 3 buttons on the grip, and between those buttons there is an 8-way hat switch. The buttons still feel nice, and the textured molding on the buttons help feel them and press them. The hat switch has come in hand both as a target designator and later on when I got a throttle as a trim hat. Now I have never used all 8 positions because it is hard to hit the diagonals without pressing the other positions of the hat. These and rest of the buttons on the base do have a slight wiggle, but that does not affect the usability. The grip also has a single D10 trigger which is made out of transparent plastic and feels fine. I have had no issues with it, however some users have had problems with the trigger that it stops working. But I haven't noticed this issue at least yet, but it could also vary between sticks. Mine does wiggle a bit however. The grip also has this extension to rest your hand as well as a thumb rest, which you can also switch around, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. So the grip is quite comfortable, but having only 4 buttons, I had to upgrade to something better. This can be enough buttons as well, but for more advanced aircraft you will be feeling a lack of them. There are 12 buttons on the base, 6 on each side, which have dips and tactile features, so it is easy to feel which button you are pressing without looking. They do have a mushy feel to them that bothered me a bit at first, but you can get used to it. There is also a light that illuminates the base of the stick when you move it. It's not customizable and you cannot turn it off. One thing that this stick does right is ergonomics. It is very comfortable to use and it is swappable from right hand to left hand use. You can remove the thumb rest and this other bit and swap it out with the left hand variant, which comes included with the stick. You can also swap around the handrest to the other side. I found this useful when I didn't have a throttle and head tracking and I was still using my mouse and keyboard for a lot of the bindings for the aircraft. There's also this switch on the bottom which flips the base buttons. So for example, if I had my gear as the closest 2 buttons on the base on the left side, if I flip the switch, now they're the closest to the right side. I used it in the same scenario when I used my left hand to fly for a while. The X and Y axis use Hall effect sensors and have a resolution of 16,000 by 16,000, which offers good precision for the price point. The X and Y axes do have a pretty big throw, so it is easier to make smaller, more precise movements. I have even done aerial refueling with this stick. It has a twist axis that you can use for rudder. It doesn't have a big rotation angle, so it is hard to do small movements. It is also not lockable, unfortunately. One thing to take note is that there could be quite a lot of dirt and dust buildup at the base of the stick. I think an easy fix could have been a rubber cover of some sort, but I don't think it has affected the performance of it as far as I know. The slider has quite a small length, so making small adjustments can be challenging. For a first stick this isn't an issue, and it is much better than just keyboard buttons, but a throttle would definitely make it more enjoyable. The software is probably the most useless thing about this stick. I guess there's a reason why I didn't install it until now, because there was no reason to. You can't modify any setting or calibrate the stick. This is something that is common for Thrustmaster flight peripherals, so keep that in mind. The Thrustmaster T16000M costs about $60 to $70, which is about the same in euro. You can also get it in a bundle with the TWCS throttle and the TFRP rudder pedals. I don't know about the throttle, but I do use the pedals. Would you like to see a review on those? Let me know in the comments. I will also leave a link in the description where you can check out this great choice as a first flight stick. Overall, I think this stick was a great investment for me when I bought it back in 2021, and it still holds up today. Paired with the TFRP pedals and the Warthog throttle, it is a great full HOTAS kit in my opinion. Some new similar sticks have been released which are a bit more expensive but offer more features as well. One of them being the Ursa Minor, which you can check out by clicking on the video on screen now. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!